Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Olaze, and welcome back to Feed the Beast Infinity Evolved Expert Mode Skyblock. In the last episode, we were working in the last millennium, making a really powerful mob spawner. So powerful, in fact, that, yeah, we need to do some upgrades to it. In fact, let's just go right there. So one of the big problems that we're having is, well, we're actually having two problems. We can fix one. I just realized a good way. I just realized something I was messing up on. We don't actually need to have the Ender Collector. That is not a requirement. And the reason being is we actually don't care about having a hole or anything in this thing because, well, we're not summoning in anything that's going to destroy this like room. Other than the glass, I mean, I guess the gas could destroy the glass, but it doesn't really matter all that much. So we could use the normal vacuum hoppers to do different things than what we are currently doing. But one of the first things we're going to try to do to help things out is not that one. We're going to make some chest changes so that this guy is a lot bigger. Now something else we're going to want to do, let's go back. We're going to want to deal with all of that experience. So let's get drums times 2. Shouldn't take that long. And we're going to want some vacuum hoppers. So is it only one C? I can never... Okay, legit thing. I can never remember how to spell vacuum. It's always... I always misspell vacuum. I always want to put 2 C's in it, and I don't know why. But yeah, that just one of those things. So we'll get 2 vacuum hoppers, 2 drums. What is it waiting on? Uh-oh. No, it's working. It's just going incredibly slowly. We're gonna fix that today as well. So while that's doing its thing, let's go ahead and do one more thing, which is we're gonna set up a metal former over here. Actually, do we want to set this up? So this thing can take in a bunch of things. We're gonna want to put plates in here. Is that gonna be an issue? So that has a filter that says no glowstone, because I believe the interface is right here. Creates 3 empty cells with 1 tin plate. Fuel rod with an iron plate. Okay, so we need to have a different set of... We're gonna have to have a different interface, I think, for this guy. Which isn't that big of a deal. What we can do is we can break this for one, put the metal former down, put the transformer upgrades in it, and this will be a rolling metal former, and we'll have a how is this getting stuff? So getting stuff from underneath? I actually don't know. No. I believe that's just dumping things directly into it. Unless it's the quad iridium ore. Yeah, no, that is all just being dumped into it. So we can just put directly underneath this guy. So right here we can put what we want, the interface, and then this will be really easy to do. Cool. So we'll need to get another interface. That's the only problem with that. But do we have those drums? We do. Alright, so we're gonna want an interface. Go ahead and craft that while it's doing its thing. Actually, that took like no time at all. Alright, so we have an interface. We're going to need a glass, it's not how you spell glass fiber cable. We're going to need a servo, just a standard one. and item ducts. And I think that's it. So theoretically, first things first. Oh, right, we're going to need some actual ME glass cable. We'll just grab a little bit of this stuff. I honestly don't think we'll need that much. So here is the moment of truth. Machine didn't blow up. Then everything's good. We can put this here. Put a servo here. And then if we come underneath here, this should be good enough to, we can put this in here and add a singular cable. So we have like, actually I don't even know how many we have over here. So let's grab a smart cable just so we can see our channels and whatnot and make sure that everything's good. Let's just get a normal smart cable. And everything else should be fine. So between episodes, while that's crafting, I've been working on getting more bee stuff. The current bees I have, they should be done by now. Yeah, so they are getting scanned austere. They have a bad effect of, well, explosions, which isn't really that big of a deal. It doesn't do any damage or anything like that to blocks or anything like that. So it's not something I don't think I'm going to fix or anything like that, but it is something to kind of point out that we can now since we have our gene samples. So we make gene templates here, and we can basically turn the bees into whatever we want. High fertility and all that kind of stuff. Now, there's a lot of stuff that we don't really need over here that we have. We'll deal with that later. We'll see. There's a couple different things that I want to do today. So, in order to get the next one that we need, which is secluded, we need the monastic? However you say it. This guy. But we need... you know what? We can go ahead and do austere princess. That'll be fine. So in here, we put these two, and we get the secluded. Now let's make sure this is what we want. We're looking for the phantasmal. There's an N in there. So phantasmal is spectral, which is hermetic, which is secluded with a monostatic. So we're going to need another monostatic, but we need the secluded as well. So let's go ahead and get the secluded. We can get more monostatic drones. That's not a problem at all. So secluded goes in here, and everything's fine. Now, you know what? Let's grab our beealizer, and we should have plenty of honey. Yeah, more than enough. So I just want to see, no effects, that's good, but it's only got a 1 fertility. That's not good. So we'll mess around with that bee in just a second. I want to finish up this last little thing. So what did we need? I wanted the smart cable. I couldn't remember for a second. Alright, let's add a smart cable to this system over here, just so we can see what we're doing. So this series is still a good ways off from being completed, and there's a couple reasons for that. It's very, very complicated. There's a lot of stuff to do, and it's fairly grindy. Come on. Alright, so we have 4 out of 8, which I think this plugs directly into the... Yes, plugs directly into a the thing, so we shouldn't have to worry about that. Cool. So with that taken care of, let's finish dealing with the mob farm real quick, and then we're going to move on to some other things. Quality of life is kind of the issue for us right now, but what we can do is, let's see, middle is there. I think this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure that that is centered. And then what we can do is we can put vacuum hoppers The chest we're not going to have, let's see, XP output we're going to have to put there. And I realize we're going to need, actually, no. We're just going to do this. This will not be able to pick up any items. We don't want it to pick up any items. That would be, well, counterproductive for us, in all honesty. So let's just fill it up with useless stuff. Because all we care about is the experience. That's one of the last things that's kind of an issue with this whole system is there is a ton of experience orbs that I don't want to cause lag. So that should suck them all up. We can test that real quick by going to the overworld. We can also see how good our stuff is doing. Let's also get another item duct and a servo. Actually, let's just take a few item ducts. Alright, so what we can do is we can turn that on, or rather off. We can go to the last millennium and see a ton of witches flying over there. And yeah, the experience is getting picked up. And this is probably got enough. Oh wow, yeah, that looks a lot better. What we can furthermore do is put another servo here. God, that noise is annoying. And that should remove twice as many items. And so that should be better. Now, alternatively, if we got a witch's hand, we could have a single filter to deal with that. But I think those two filters will be good enough. And we're going to get a ton of experience for this. So, multiple good things we can kind of deal with. So, let's turn that off. I'll run it as needed more than anything else. And spider eyes we should get more of. I think we've got about 1,000 already, just from letting things run and whatnot. So back to bees. We're going to do a little bit of stuff with bees, and then we're going to move on to other things, which we'll get to. And a lot of them are kind of complicated. We're going to be doing like 3 things at once, because I want to get as much progress done today as I can. There's a lot of things that we're just kind of waiting on. I am putting off the blood magic stuff because I don't really want to do the demon summoning stuff right now. It's just an absolute pain. We're going to work a little bit with Thaumcraft today. We don't really have much to do with Britannia other than killing the Gaia Guardian more, and same with Witchery. We're kind of at the point with Witchery that we don't have to do too much more unless we want to go to the spirit world and get more spawners and stuff like that, which we do, but just not right now. It's not super important. It's not dire or anything. We're mostly waiting on more UU matter, which we're always going to be waiting for more UU matter, and we're waiting for bees. So those are kind of the 2 stopping points for us right now, because we need a lot of awakened draconium. So let's work a little bit more with bees, and then we're going to kind of jump around, make some improvements to the base and whatnot. You'll see what I mean when we get there. So for the bees, we're going to want to make a genetic template. One of these guys. Now, we're only ever really going to need one of these. They do not get destroyed or anything like that. But what we're going to want to do with this is we're going to want to set it up so that it has very specific traits. And those traits can be found here. So gene samples can be added to this guy. We want to have flowers. We want higher fertility. We're going to want speed fast. Effect none. And shortest lifespan. So if we add these to this, you can see it has 2 out of 13 chromosomes. There's only 13 total chromosomes that it can have. And there's all of them. So a lot of this stuff we don't really care about. Species is only important if we want to make something a specific species. So if we want more cultivated bees, we can make it that way. That's going to be important later. So if we get a high tier bee, we can kind of duplicate it. We can take the drones that we're going to get from production, put them through the stuff, and do the things. So what are some of the top, what are the like highest number of bees do we have? We have a lot of industrious and imperials. I want to see, with the industrious, they only give 2 as well. Pollination doesn't really matter. Production is important. Lifespan is important. Flower type is somewhat important. Territory is not important. Effects important. And then all of this stuff is not really important. So there's a lot of traits that are like humidity tolerance and temperature tolerance. We don't care about that. We can mess with that stuff here. So what we do is we get our genetic labware. We'll take a little bit of this stuff, put it in here with the template, and we could put a queen, princess, or drone in here. And again, if they are not pristine, there is the chance that bad things will happen. But that's only if they're not pristine. And then after it does its whole little thing, we will have a different bee. Sorta. We'll have a bee that's changed. And so if we look now, its fertility is 2, its territory, its effect is none, and it now wants flowers. Also has a very short lifespan. So we change those traits. This bee will always give those traits because both of its, the dominant and the inactive, the active and inactive rather. In real life, it's usually referred to as dominant and recessive. In bees, it's active and inactive. It's a little bit more plain English, but it's the same thing. The genes are all the same. So that's what all we'll ever get. So we can just put this guy in here and automate him, and we'll get more secluded stuff later. So we can just let this guy go. He doesn't really care about much of anything, and we can take this guy out and put him in here for storage. Now, if we get something that's got to have, I think 4 is the max fertility. There might be some 5s. I don't really remember, to be honest. But that's something that we can always kind of get later. So yeah, monostatic drone. We can get another one of those. It's not a problem. And we can do a lot of fun stuff. So that's bees for now. I'm going to continue working on those between episodes because bees are tedious. But for now, what I want to do, we have, let's see, at least 3, how many machines do we have? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 machines that we need to upgrade. And that's what we're going to do now. So if we want to upgrade machines, there is a really cool and simple way to do that. And that's just by making gears and some other stuff. So we're going to need, let's just make 10 of each of these gears. Signalum and Electrum. And then we're also going to need Invar, hardened glass, fused quartz. I think the hardened glass will be a better, we'll get like 60 of that. That won't be too bad. And Invar, we already have 100 of that, and we should have plenty of silver. Alright, so basically we just put in motion a lot of things to upgrade all of our machines. Now, some of our machines we're going to want to add these reception coils, and that's going to require various chipsets. So let's craft like 10 of those. We have no, okay, so we're gonna need redstone. How do we want to do this? So let's see, let's get 10 of each. We're gonna need gold times 10 and diamonds times 10. So we'll just come over here and let these guys start running. This... You know, why don't we teach the system how to make those? We can do that later. So they'll both work. It'll take a while, but it'll get done. And we can make the augments and all that kind of fun stuff. And from there, we'll be able to make all of the things we could possibly want. So we'll let that stuff run. Let's look into what I want to get into more than anything. So a lot of the stuff that I've shown so far has been more or less quality of life, upgrading our systems and whatnot so that things work out nicer. But for now, we're going to actually do some progress. So one thing that we've been really lacking on in Thaumcraft is, well, wands. We have a couple wands that aren't bad. Don't get me wrong, these are good wands. They work just fine. But the problem with them is we can't recharge them. Not easily anyways. If we want to recharge things, we have to go over to our mob farms and gather up the little orbs and all that kind of fun stuff. And that's not bad, but not great. So what can we do instead? Well, we need to get nodes. Super duper secret thing. Let's grab our thermometer. There should be a node in here. Which I don't know why I can't see it. Let's do something else. We don't need to have all of this armor on, so let's just switch those around. But yeah, typically silverwood trees will have a node in them. I don't know that this one does, but either way, it's not that important. We can get nodes other ways. So I looked around at the bottom of the world here, because that's typically in Skyblocks where nodes are. There are none that I found here. Maybe there is, I don't know. We have some sinister nodes up here. I really don't want to deal with those. Sinister nodes like to spawn things on you. They're not fun. But I found some other nodes. Pure nodes. The nodes I found only have one of the primal aspects in them, and they're pretty high value type of stuff. So we're gonna go grab a bunch of nodes. Now, how are we gonna do that? Thaumcraft has a way to bring nodes back from wherever you want, called Node in a Jar. It's incredibly destructive and bad. I think Thaumic Esoteria has a better way. Maybe not. Thaumic Tinkering. I believe there's a better way in something. I kind of wish this had a search function. X asterisk, no. Eldritch stuff doesn't have anything. Yeah, I don't know what that does, and I don't really want to do it. Yeah, so maybe not in this mod pack. There's not. I believe there is a Thaumcraft add-on that gives you a better node jarring option that doesn't destroy it, but it's really expensive. But luckily, we have multiple mods in this, and one of those mods is Blood Magic. Blood Magic has a really cool way to move whatever you want, wherever you want. It requires some blood, but this is the recipe for it. It's called a Teleposer. And this is what we're going to use. We're going to need like 2 of these. So we're going to need like a handful of ender pearls. We already have 3s, but we can get, I think we need 1 more. Did I accidentally grab it? No. Okay. So we're going to need to make this teleposition thing. And in order to do that, we're going to just need to take this guy out. How much blood do we currently have? Oof. 900,000. That's not bad. Alright, so we'll summon in some friends. And then we will murder them. And in order to get these teleposition focuses, it's only 2,000 blood, so that's like nothing. So I added another lever here just so it would be easier when I was looking for villagers to turn it off up here. Yeah, kind of like I could turn it off there, and then I could know where the first guy was. Yeah, I didn't think about that. So let's get some blood. We don't really need that much, so just get these guys going. Alright, so there's that one. And we're going to need a second one. So we need one for the teleposer itself and one for, well, you'll see, the actual focus so that we know where things go. They do not stack, and there's reasons for that. But yeah, so easy as that. Let's go ahead and put our orb back. It does require a little bit of blood to do this stuff, so keep that in mind. We need a button. So let's get a button, and then we can get one of these teleposers. So that's really all we need. And now we can start moving everything around. So first things first, we're going to set up kind of a couple of things. So one of the things that I want to do, what I want to work towards, is we're going to make a energistic system to harness V. So we're going to need to empower a handful of these guys, and then we'll have some relays and all that kind of stuff. And it'll work just fine. So we're going to need like a handful of different things. So we're going to want like, let's see, we just put them here. We can do one. No, I don't want to do it in the corner. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if we have something like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It can't be symmetrical like that. It's got to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Not there. 4, 5, 6. So that'll be cool. Alright. I want to make sure things aren't dark or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to start here. And I believe what we can do is we shift right click here. Is this seriously 0, 0? No, it's not. Chord 0, 0. That should not be correct. But we can test things out. Where is 0, 0? Because I don't want to like mess up anything. I don't want to replace anything. That would be bad. 0, 0 is right here, and it's all the way at the bottom. I don't remember how this thing works. Let's see if our book says anything. So, no, wrong thing. Right, we got to take off our armor. So convocation, we'll get back to that later. Architect, battle mage, Let's see. Teleposer. There we go. The teleposer. So, transportation network for long-range travel. So the main falling point each time is a limited number of people. Teleportation that once properly set up, push of a button. Placing the pearl into a stronger thing. Materials mainly gold. And yeah, so to perform the teleport, you need 2 teleposers. Next, bind a teleposition focus to one of them by right-clicking on the teleposer. Bind it to yourself by clicking on anything else. Okay. So we need another teleposer. That's fine. And then, so we just need a third ender pearl. I forgot that it's another, I guess it's a mana pearl. It's another teleposer that we need. So let's get this going. And then what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to pretty quickly and easily transport nodes. Alright, that should be fine. We'll kill these guys as they drop down. Once we have the teleposition focus, we'll just put that back. Turn that off. We're gonna need 2 more pearls. And that should be it. So, all in all, not that hard. We can deal with this pretty easily. And we should be able to make another teleposer. So what we're going to do is instead of having all those blocks, what we can do is each one we just replace with a teleposer. So we'll just start. I know there's a fire, and I know there's an. Let's see, we'll do fire here. I know there's a fire relatively close. So now we right-click on here, and it's bound to this exact location. Really cool, right? Well, what we can do. And again, I'm going to do this like off camera because it's going to be a lot of kind of tedious work. Let's grab let's put our armor back on. That's fine. We don't need the book anymore. I know how the rest of this works. I just forgot that we need 2 teleposers, which is why it wasn't binding correctly. So what we can do is we can grab an angel block. And we have a button. We have the... we have everything. Cool. So now we go to the nether. And the nether is where we'll get our nodes. So the first one we want to do is find a fire node. And now, unfortunately, they are still very low in the ground. Near the bottom of the world. Not that it really matters much, but we're going to go directly south, and we're just going to drop down a good bit. It's good to keep things honest on like the direction we're heading, because there are no maps. It's really hard to figure out your way back home if you're not careful. But there is this is a fire Perdicio. That's not bad. We might want that for later. That's a good one. So as you can see, there are nodes down here. See, I am completely lost. There is, I think this is the Perdicio one, which if that's the case, yeah, then there should be a fire one That is not fire. That is earth and Perditio. So yeah, there's a lot of mixed nodes, but that's okay. But yeah, as you can see, they're kind of hard to find. Kind of a pain. But what are you? You have a little bit of everything, but you're not that good. There was a really good fire one, but I don't remember where it was. Let's head back closest to spawn. So our platform is right there. There's a fire bat. Let's head east. So here is something. If you're pure, let's find that Perditio again. I'll go with that. But as you see, there are a ton of nodes just kind of hanging around down here. Is this the fire one? No, that has other things in it. You can tell by the color. The color that they kind of give off is what's important. So that is a weird node. There's a ton of nodes over here. Wow. I want just something that's pure. Pure nodes are usually really good. They're usually better than others. Just because they can only have so much like stuff in them. And so a pure node is going to have the most of any one quality. That's not a bad node. But yeah, as you see, there are a ton of nodes down here. You are a... Oh, nope. We can go up a little bit if we want. You have other things in you. Where are we at? Wow, we've gone really far away. So yeah, if we can just find another pure node. This one is blue-ish. This one is... I think this is the same grouping that I saw just a second ago. Here comes one. So yeah, as you can see, it's going to take me a while to find nodes that I want. What about you? You look to be mostly... Nope. As I say, mostly, but not completely. So let's find just a pure node. Come on. You... Okay, this is one that I found before, I think. So we're going to place our angel block. And what we can do is we can just build out underneath the node. So this block right here is underneath the node. What we can do is we can place the transposer down, put the focus there, put a button on the side, and goodbye. So we just teleported all that stuff to the overworld. So yeah, as you see, this is going to take me a while. I want to find pure nodes for some of the stuff. For others, it's not a big of a deal. But now we need to go back to 0, 0. And nope. This is this ish way. There it is. Okay. It is really hard to like fly straight in void areas. So we'll just go back home. And lo and behold, we have a present waiting for us. So if we go over here, we should see there is a nice little node here. Perfect. So that is what we need to do for every single one of these spots. Now, these nodes we're going to be powering up and doing some weirdness to them so that we can drain their power. You'll see what I mean when we get to that point. But that's something I'm going to have to do off camera. That's going to take me a while just to kind of get everything done. But last thing I want to do today is let's go ahead and upgrade all these machines. So we have all these gears and whatnot. So I guess let's start with these three. It is going to cause a little bit of an issue, but it's okay. So we'll just grab all of these. And if we want to power these guys up, we're going to need pulverizer, redstone furnace, induction smelter, and then we can power these up even further. We cannot go straight to the end. It will not work. Just pointing that out so you guys don't ask or anything. But basically, we'll upgrade all these machines. And then once they're all resonant machines, we can add the augments as needed and as wanted. So let's see, the order is furnace, and it should remember everything. Shouldn't be any problems or anything like that. So we'll just kind of fill that in a little bit. Then everything else will just put in here. Alright, so that's the first set of machines. And then what we can do is we can add the augments to them if we want. The main augments that we'll want is the reception coils. So these guys, which is going to require all of this stuff. But to be honest, the only machines that I really cared about doing this to is these. So these guys don't have anything in them, which is good. So let's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Auto crafting is probably something you want to speed up as much as possible, so that's what we're going to do. Let's see, we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this, by the way, is much cheaper than making the higher tier machine frames. Just FYI, it's a nice little, I don't know if it's an oversight or what, but it is a very convenient way to do this. So let's just get the resonant machines. Now, resonant machines not only can go hold more power, and I believe they even have a little bit of a natural speed boost. I could be wrong about that. I actually don't know for sure. But more than anything, they can be augmented more. So more augments means, well, more stuff. So now we just need to make these back to where they need to go. This is whitelisting all that stuff, and that's whitelisting all that. So the magma crucible is here. The pulverizer is here. Induction smelter, fluid transposer, and redstone furnace. I'm pretty sure that is correct. And they should have maintained all their stuff. So we can add augments to them, do different things with them. So outputting out the top, inputting in the back. Yep. Okay. Cool. So there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 6. 6 machines. We're gonna want. We're gonna want a lot of this stuff. So we need a ton of these. Just make a stack. Why not? It's just resources. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. We'll need some pyrotheum dust. We'll need probably more than that. So what is that waiting on? It's crafting the pulverized coal. Let's make sure that it is. In fact, we can speed that up a little bit. So each machine will get one of these. And yeah, we need 8 of them in total. So, pyrotheum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the top tier, yes, requires the cryotheum dust, which I don't know. Blizz. We don't have much Blizz stuff, but we can get more fairly easily. Let's get rid of the rain. But yeah, so we can upgrade all this stuff. I think you guys, I think I've made these upgrades before. With like, see, don't these machines have them? Yeah. So I'm not too worried. I can do this kind of off camera. But I just want to kind of point out we can upgrade all those machines and things will be better. So let's take a look at our bees real quick. And yeah, all in all, like, oh my god, you're still going. Not guide. I wanted the map. This is chunk loaded. Shortest life, slowest worker. I guess. Do we have any new? Strange. These guys are going really, really slow, but that's okay. We'll live. So let's take all this honey out. Put it in here. And honestly, we could probably start just dropping a lot of these bees through this system and cleaning things up. But I think for now, that is a good stopping point. So I am going to get at least a couple more nodes. I don't know how many I'm actually going to get. I know there was a fire one I'd like to retrieve. We'll see what I can manage between episodes. I'm going to continue working on bees. But one of the big things that we need to do in the coming episodes is just continue working on automating things and getting prepared to get a lot of stuff kind of getting a lot of stuff ready so that when we're almost ready to like get the creative energy cell, it'll be really easy too. So you know what, let's go ahead and make the 8 of these machines. Now these machines I don't really care about upgrading. They're not super important. We'll go ahead and turn this off, kill the rest of these guys, and call it a day. So definitely a lot of stuff left to do, but we're getting there. One thing that I'm kind of putting off that we should probably do at some point in the nearish future is we really need to get, oh my gosh, how can we get niter? Niter is such a pain. We really need to get our IC2 stuff a little bit better made. So what I mean by that is our IC2 area is kind of, well, we need to get a lot more UU matter. That is going to be huge. Now once we actually get the what's it called, the creative energy cell, not the creative energy cell, the creative tank, this guy, the portable tank, this is not nearly as bad as it looks other than the creative energy cells. It requires a lot of those, which requires a lot of the quantum solar panels, which requires a ton of iridium. So once we can get that taken care of, we'll be good to go. It's just a matter of dealing with that. Alright, so we got exactly enough niter. That's good. And then we should be able to make the top tier. That should be exactly 8. Perfect. So I can upgrade all of our machines. Make sure everything's nice and fast. And now they are going to use a lot more power. I mean, this is going to go from 20 RF per tick to 400. But that's okay, because it's honestly not going to use all that power all at once. Something else we need to do is automate like the charged draconium with more power. We just need more power in general. There's a lot of stuff left to do. It's just going to be a matter of getting it all done. So we'll kind of figure out what to do next time when that time comes. We'll just kind of work as we go. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!